border problems, election problems, terrorism problems, Israel, all sorts of stuff going on. And there's a lot of people that want to know how you can prepare for things like this. So I'm going to give you a structure or a thought process that you can use to employ in whatever it is that you need to prepare for. So if we start out with the basics and we have a foundational understanding, if we know that we've defined terms and we kind of move forward from there, because whenever you want to do critical analysis, you got to define the terms up front. So survival is don't die. I know I've said that on this channel many times, but survival is don't die. Okay, duh, obviously. Well, why does that matter? Well, because the next question is what's going to kill me? What's going to kill me first? We use the rule of threes to define what's going to kill me. Like you can go 3 seconds in a gunfight without a gun or security, 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without food, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, and 3 months without companionship. Once you understand that basic, now you kind of have a little bit of a better idea of what's going to kill me first. Step one, if you don't have security, that's going to kill you first, but only if you're in an austere environment. If you're in a war zone, guns are more important than water. Guns are probably more important than anything else, followed by medicine, followed by communications and water. And then we start to get into the gray area, food and those type of things. If you're not in a war zone and you're in the Sahara Desert, water is more important than just about anything else, except for maybe communication, followed by food and so forth. When it comes to deciding what's most important and what should be available, what should you prep, what should you store, what should you have, it's situation dependent based on factors that change with the environment, the location, and everything else. So I really want to talk to you about how to think before I just tell you, get these 7 items and you'll be good. Because that's blowing smoke, that's lies, that's a snake oil salesman's pitch. I'm not selling anything, we're teaching today. So when it comes to prepping for 2024, where do you live? What's next to you? What is the most man-made danger that you're going to face? What's the most dangerous natural danger that you're going to face? I worded that like a soup salad, but you get what I'm saying. So here, I'm in the Wasatch Mountains. I think the worst case natural scenario might either be an earthquake or cold if I don't have equipment. A worst case man-made scenario might be a nuke, an EMP, a war of some sort. So if we can prepare against the worst case things, all of the daily mundane things become easy, right? So if I'm gonna talk about this, I want to build it from my personal base level up. I'm wearing a jacket, a smock. I always mess up the name, Bruslik, Finland company, right there. I'll leave a link down below. And that's my base layer, because survival is having fire, water, shelter, food, medical, communications, and the ability to replenish all of it. So I need a layer that is shelter, that can carry fire, that can carry or give me access to water and food. I need a tool, a utilitarian layer, and that's the base layer. So let's start with what you wear every single day. At the lowest level, survivals don't die, fire, water, shelter, food, medical, communication, the ability to replenish it indefinitely. What do you really carry? What are you really going to actually EDC? My keys. Always going to have my keys. My phone. It's right there on the ground. Always going to have my phone. My wallet. Always going to have my wallet. So if we have those base level things, and my knife, can't forget that. I always have my knife. Today I'm carrying a Leatherman Wingman. Sometimes I carry a normal knife. I've been doing a lot of electronics lately, so I'm carrying a Leatherman tool. So think about the things that you're wearing every single day, and know that if you get into a survival situation, if you get into political unrest, whatever it is, you're going to have what you're wearing, unless you didn't bring it. So bring it. So at that base level, how do we accomplish security, fire, water, shelter, food, and all those things? I've got a Fresnel lens in my wallet. I can start fire with that. I have a couple times started fire with it because I thought, well, we don't have any matches. We don't have a lighter. What do we use? I've got my wallet on me because I always have my wallet on me and I can start fire with it. I've always got cash in my wallet and I can buy my way out of things sometimes. I've always got tools on me. I've always got my phone, which is a communication device. So I've always got that base level stuff on me at the bare minimum. Let's step it up to the next level. Aside of your clothes, your phone, your wallet, your watch, your things that you're going to have on you on a regular basis, what can you add to this to make it more effective and make you more resilient against survival, which is what's going to kill me first? Well, I have a Garmin watch. I've got GPS with it. It currently is charged up to 29 days. It'll go clear up to 36 days, and it'll take solar power. So I'm good for 30 days before I got to run into electricity. But I also have my phone. Most phones, and 24 or 48 hours and they're dead. So you need a way to extend that you would keep in a jacket or a bag or whatever you're going to do, right? So when we step it above that EDC level, this is the stuff we have in our pockets. This is the stuff we have in our jackets. This is the stuff we have in our bug out bags. That's the stuff that is too bulky and cumbersome to carry on your person. Firearm on your person, okay? Ammo in the bag. Throwing that out there real quick. So this is one of a couple bags that I have that I like to use. You've seen it in the past. And I've got a few things in here that I want to show you. Fire, water, shelter, food, communications, the ability to extend indefinitely. I can't make electricity indefinitely from what I'm wearing, but I can push it out to 30 days. My watch is already good for 30 days. Well, I want my phone to be good for 30 days. I want a redundancy when it comes to communication, because communication can get you out of most situations. Sending a text message to a helicopter is really valuable. Can't do that if you don't have communication. And you don't have communication if you don't have electricity. So right here is just a little Anchor battery tank. I've got one of these. I got a dark power, a couple of them. I like to use these. This one specifically charges all that camera gear that I'm talking at right now. And it's really valuable because of that. This takes my time that I can last without communication, and it takes it from 24 to 48 hours. And if I turn my phone on and off, I could do a couple months. If I'm running it every single day, I can do about 3 weeks of constant battery use with one of these. About 1.5 pounds, not super heavy. And I stick it in my EDC bag. Plan B, because remember we have PACE plans, primary, alternative, contingent, and emergency plans, would be my satellite texting device right here. This is a Garmin texting device. It's got the Iridium satellite connection for text messaging. It's also got waypoints and maps and stuff. So it's a multi-function device that really, something that's really cool for me for Garmin is the fact that they all connect. This connects to my tread, connects to my phone, connects to my watch. I will get messages across all platforms. If I'm listening to music on my phone, my tread will show the next song that plays on it as a display. So that's something that's kind of really cool. But the point is, phone is primary communication. Maybe an alternative would be texting or Wi-Fi only on the phone. And a contingent or a third level is satellite texting. An emergency would really be also satellite texting in my practical real world application. The ham radio might be the other emergency. Maybe the satellite's down and all the phones are dead. You only have ham radio. So have, what if this happens, then that? What if this happens, then that? What if this happens, then that? And make some sort of a plan against it. Spitfires, World War II, flying to Normandy. We talked briefly about fire. I see all the arguments online. Bring a BIC and know how to do friction. Because a BIC or even a pile of BICs can get lost and stolen and broken. Friction fire is something you carry in your mind and you create where you go to a place. Super valuable. So know how to do friction fire. Still carry a BIC or some other device like that. Lights. Back in the day, I used to tell people to carry one of those mini mags in their pocket. Yes, I'm that old. And the mini mags are cool because if you're in an earthquake and the buildings come down around you, you can turn the mini mag on, you can find your way out. If you are in the dark or something bad happens, power outage, whatever. Nowadays, everything's got a light on it. Everyone's phone has a light on it. Even my watch has this bright as a watch light function on it. Sorry, bright as a light from a phone light function on it. And it gives me the ability to just push the button and turn it on and turn it off. Lights are really valuable and we have a lot of them. So I don't see the need as much as it used to be to have a flashlight. I've kind of transitioned more to keep your phone charged. In my case, keep your watch charged and maybe a headband. But there are some lights that I also like. I've got a little ace beam here. I've showed this in shorts and other videos. And it has the primary wide beam and then this super focused, ridiculously bright beam. The reason I like this, and I keep this in my bag, is because I can spotlight an animal or human or something up on a mountain. I can shoot this a big, long distance, and it's rechargeable. It can charge off of my Anchor battery tank that I have in here as well. 2024, riots, shooting, all that shenanigan, that is bound to happen. And just like any other wartime discussion, defense is the ability to all hail the bullet storm, right? If I can send the bullet storm in that direction, you'll leave me alone until I run out of bullets. So he with the most bullets wins. And unfortunately, it's sad that we live in a day and time that this is the case, but you need your primary self-defense weapon on you, in your bag if you have to, but when the clothing changes or the situation changes, it should be on your person. It's easy to take a bag from a person. It's hard to disarm someone when you don't know what's under their clothes or where they're hiding it. So it's always safer to keep you on your person, but you're going to run out. Usually I have a G-Lock 17 or 19 with a light on it. And then I have a secondary magazine, mostly to balance my belt, to keep it level, not necessarily for any other reason than that. But if I run out, I want to be able to access more. So I've got this nice little guy right here. You can see multiples stacked all the way to the bottom. And I fill this up with 3 or 4 of them because for the most part, I'm going to have more ammunition than the other people in the area, and that gives me suppression capabilities. But there's a certain point where it gets too heavy, and I just don't want to carry this backpack because it's got so much lead in it and it becomes ridiculous. So find your balance between enough to get the job done and enough to get back to your vehicle where you can keep 30-round sticks, big mamas, the long ones, okay? So watch out for that. Back to our principles: fire, water, shelter, food, medical communication, the ability to extend. I have shelter, right? Shelter is defined, in my opinion, and I got this from Morse Kohansky, as something that enables you to spend the night sitting by a fire at 2 o'clock in the morning without getting too cold. Oftentimes, we suffer because of cold or heat for want of one more layer. The reality is, if you just brought your bigger coat, if you just grabbed a blanket, if you just had another sleeping bag, that gives you the ability to stay warm. And that's the thing we're missing. Don't be afraid to bring the jacket that you don't need now, that you might need tonight, because you can always take it off, but you can't always put it on. So with that in mind, I talked about these in a video a while ago. These are the Soul Escape bivvies. This is just a wind stopping layer that I can add to my existing situation and get some sleep or block the wind or stop the rain or wherever it is. This is just a short-term solution that is super light and I can throw in my bag. One thing that I really like to put in bags is ultra-light equipment. I can fit coats and jackets and hats and all sorts of stuff. Just a couple pounds. I can wear an entire suit of clothing with ultralight gear and have it weigh under a couple pounds and stick in my bag for traveling or whatever. That way I get the heat and the insulation, but I don't suffer because I didn't want to carry the extra weight. So look at ultralight gear. That's very important. Food. I got food in here. I like these Builder bars. They're good protein, carbohydrates. I know that I can do heavy hiking on and eat one of these a day and suffer through because I've done it in the past. It's not ideal, but this is a 1-day meal for me plus water. And then water I will find and filter when I get to it or bring a little bit with me. The thing about water is it weighs a lot of weight. It's 8 pounds a gallon. So if you know for a fact there's water where you're going, bring what you need, refill when you get there. 2024, I've got an IFAK in the bottom of this thing. It's an individual first aid kit. It should include tourniquets and gloves, quick accessible, sucking chest wounds, stuff for kids. I'm going to call that Neosporin, Band-Aids, those type of things. And then more advanced stuff and medications. Benadryl for allergies, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, those type of things. You can build on that as your education increases, but that's kind of the base level. Quick recap. Remember, 3 seconds in a gunfight without firearms is security, 3 minutes without air. The reason we talk about 3 minutes without air is because if you're in a plane that goes into the water, You got 3 minutes to get your stuff out before you die. There's some actual planning there. 3 minutes on a fire, you need to get out. So if you're not wearing it, if it's not quickly accessible to you, you don't get to keep it. So have it on you, have it next to you, or go without. 3 hours in inclement weather before you die. It's not always the case, but for the most part, if I were to stay in these clothes tonight until 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll get very cold. I would either need to make fire or throw my baby shelter on. So I need to have a plan for that. 3 days without water. Sometimes you can only go about 4 hours, but you need to know that all these other things are a little more important. But when you get to that point, you have to have water, the ability to replenish the water, and salt or electrolytes. 3 weeks without food. I say this because oftentimes in survival situations, the first thing people want is food. It's kind of the last thing you need. Although it keeps you from being cranky, you won't die if you go a couple days without food. Then 30 days or 3 months without companionship. Eventually, we go a little bit nuts and we want to find other people. So if you're not making a plan to get out of your situation, you're in trouble. Then fire, water, shelter, food, security, communications, medical, the ability to extend it indefinitely. If you make a plan for those things, no matter what situation it is, you will at least have a solution. So when the bad thing happens, you'll know how to act. We have a tendency to sit and think about, holy crap, is that really happening, when we haven't trained for it? As an example, if there's a shooting in front of me, I know what to do. I've done a ton of training. I do what I got to do. But if an alien in a spaceship lands right now, I would probably stand there for a few minutes and say, holy crap, is that really happening? Is that actually an alien? Because I've never done any alien training. So plan for the thing, plan for the disaster, plan for the event, know what you're going to do when it happens, and then act on your plan, then have a contingency in case it fails, and act on that plan until you get out of the situation. Okay. I hope this was valuable to you. I know I dumped a lot of information. We're going to see some more home defense stuff, some more riot type stuff in the future. If you got things you want to see, comments you want to make about this video, leave them in the comment section. I try to get back to all of you as I can. And thank you for watching.
I'm Jason Salyer with Survival Dispatch, and when disaster strikes, will you be ready? Power outages, natural disasters, economic collapse, and the knowledge, the skills, and equipment necessary to protect your family when it really, really matters. You can gain instant access to our team of survival experts, stockpiling food, medical necessities, communication plans, proven techniques to help you get home, shelter in place, or bug out safely. Don't leave your family's safety to chance. Visit survivaldispatch.com to get started.
Become a Survival Dispatch Insider. We bring together survival enthusiasts and preppers to share knowledge and skills, which means you can enhance your preparedness for emergencies and ensure the safety of your community. The results you'll get: improve your emergency preparedness by learning skills and strategies from experienced preppers. Build lasting connections with like-minded individuals to share your passion for safety and readiness. Access a wealth of knowledge and resources to assist you in protecting you and your community in certain situations. Go to survivaldispatch.com to get started.